If the pain starts in your lower back, runs through the buttock, and travels down the leg, you've probably already heard the word sciatica. Maybe you've thought herniated disc, pinched nerve, and almost everyone in that situation points straight at the spine. But here's something worth knowing once you're past 60. Very often, that leg pain has nothing to do with your back. It comes from a small muscle buried deep in the buttock. And today, you're going to see that for yourself. This video has two parts. First, a short test in about 2 minutes. You'll know whether this applies to you or not. Then I'll walk you through 6 simple movements you can do at home. Some in a chair, some lying on the bed. And let me say this up front. This isn't folk medicine. The fact that a tight muscle can send pain shooting down the leg is documented in medical atlases. For decades, that pain has been mistaken for an inflamed sciatic nerve. So let's not guess. In a couple of minutes, you'll be able to tell for yourself whether your pain is coming from a muscle or a pinched nerve. That's exactly where we'll begin. Before we do anything else, let's figure out what your pain actually looks like. This isn't a diagnosis. It's a simple self-check so you don't waste your time. Be honest with yourself, and by the end of it, the picture will be a lot clearer. Let's start with the most important part, the red flags. If even one of these applies to you, stop the test right here, set the exercises aside, and go see a doctor. First, numbness in the groin or between the legs, like you've been sitting on ice. Second, you've lost the urge to use the bathroom, or you've lost control over it. Third, the leg is visibly getting weaker. The foot drops, the toe catches on the floor. Fourth, the pain showed up after a fall or a blow. Fifth, pain that comes with a fever, or pain at night that wakes you and won't let you fall back asleep. Got it? If none of that applies to you, let's keep going. Now, the heart of the test, what the pain itself feels like. This is something everyone can sense, even without touching anything. Pain from a muscle is usually deep, dull, and aching. It can feel like something inside is clenched. It's spread out, hard to point to with a single finger, and it tends to get worse the longer you sit or stand in one position, then ease off once you move or change position. Pain from a pinched nerve feels completely different, sharp, shooting, like an electric shock running down a narrow strip of the leg, often all the way to the calf and foot, frequently paired with numbness or pins and needles. The medical atlas backs this up exactly. Pain from a compressed nerve is sharper than muscle pain and reaches further down to the shin and the sole of the foot. So think back, was your pain dull and spread out or sharp and shooting? Here's a quick nerve check, the cough test. Cough firmly or bear down a little. If something shoots down the leg to the foot, that points toward a nerve or disc problem. If nothing changes, that's a good sign. It argues against a nerve cause. Now, let's try to actually find this muscle with your hands. If you can, that's direct evidence. First, the landmarks. The greater trochanter is the hard bump on the side of your hip. Just below the waistline, place your palm there and shift your weight from foot to foot, and you'll feel it move. The sacrum is the flat bone at the base of your spine, right in the center. Picture a diagonal line connecting the two. Deep along that line sits the piriformis muscle. Press into it slowly and deeply with your thumb or your knuckles and feel for a tight band or a knot. Here's the part you shouldn't skip. If you don't feel anything unusual under your finger, don't assume that means everything's fine. It's genuinely hard to reach deep into a muscle on yourself. Simple example, press on your own trapezius, the muscle across your shoulder. It feels manageable, but when a massage therapist digs into it, you jump. The buttock works the same way. It's a big muscle buried under a layer of tissue, and your fingers often just can't reach the spot. So, a weak response to your finger isn't a no. There's a more reliable way. If you have a tennis ball, or any firm, springy ball, even a hard dog toy, try this. Stand with your back against the wall, place the ball between the wall and your buttock or the side of your lower back, and lean your weight gently onto it. Shift your torso slightly and roll the ball over the spot in a small range. The ball reaches deeper than a finger ever will and finds the point far more reliably. You're not necessarily hunting for sharp pain. More often, it's something else, a deep ache, a spot that feels clenched like the muscle balled itself into a fist and can't let go. And you almost want to knead it yourself. When you land on a spot like that and think there it is, that's your trigger point. So let's draw an honest conclusion. If your pain is deep, dull, and aching, If it depends on posture and long sitting, if coughing doesn't send anything shooting into your foot, and if there isn't a single red flag, then a tight muscle is very likely a major part of the picture. And if you also found that clenched spot with the ball, it's almost certainly involved. These exercises are exactly for you. But if the pain is sharp, shoots like a shock down to the foot, comes with numbness, or you checked even one red flag, see a doctor first. Exercises alone won't fix that, and that's the honest truth. Now, the practice, first, the back of the thigh. Why start here? Because a tight thigh pulls the pelvis along with it, which overloads the buttock and the lower back, loosen the foundation, and everything sitting on top of it gets easier. At our age, we do this safely seated. Sit on the edge of a chair, extend the other leg out in front of you with the heel resting on a stool or a second chair. Keep that leg almost straight and your back flat. Then lean forward slowly from your belly toward that leg. Don't round your back, and don't reach for your toes with your hands. Lead with your belly. You should feel a pulling stretch along the back of the thigh, just under the knee. On each exhale, sink a little lower. Hold for 30 to 60 seconds, then switch legs calmly. A common mistake here is reaching for your toes and rounding your back that stretches your lower back instead of your thigh and can actually overload it. So again, back straight, hinge from the pelvis, lead with the belly, and let your hands rest loosely on your leg. If the leg up on the stool pulls too hard, lower the stool or simply stretch the leg out along the floor while seated. A quick word on why we stretch at all. In an overloaded muscle, the fibers sort of stick together and can't release on their own. A gentle stretch lets them do that. The goal here is to give the muscle back its length, not to build it up. There's nothing to bulk up in this case. Keep that in mind because it changes the whole approach. We're not building strength, we're restoring the muscle's ability to lengthen normally. Exercise 2, the glute muscles lying down. The Trigger Point Atlas says it plainly. Pain in the buttock paired with pain down the back of the leg is called sciatica. But sciatica is a description, not a diagnosis, and this exact pattern is very often wrongly blamed on a herniated disc, especially since after 60, some disc bulging or narrowing shows up on almost everyone's scan. Meanwhile, the real cause, the gluteus minimus muscle, goes untouched for years. Its pain runs down the leg and mimics a nerve so closely that for decades it's been mistaken for sciatica. So that's what we'll stretch now. Lie on your back, keep one leg straight along the mat, bend the other knee and gently guide it across your body, letting the knee travel toward the floor on the opposite side. Help it along with your hand. Rest your palm on that knee and draw it down calmly, with no jerking. Stretch your other arm out flat on the floor to anchor that shoulder down. Don't lift your head or either shoulder off the mat. The straight leg just rests. Only the crossed over side is working. Bring the knee as far as it naturally goes. There's no need to force it to the floor. You should feel the stretch over the upper outer part of the buttock, sometimes spreading a little into the side of the hip, a dull, bearable pull. If it shoots down the leg, ease off. That sensation isn't what we're after. Breathe calmly, and on each exhale, let the knee drop a touch lower, no rushing. Hold for 30 to 60 seconds, bring the leg back, and repeat on the other side. Exercise 3, the piriformis, seated. Sit upright in a chair and rest the ankle of the sore leg on the knee of the other leg, a seated figure 4. Let the knee of that upper leg drop down, then lean forward with a straight back, belly toward your legs. You should feel the pull deep in the buttock, right in the middle, possibly the same spot you found during the test. Lean only as far as the pull stays pleasantly bearable. It shouldn't shoot into the leg. If it does, sit back up a little, breathe. And on each exhale, ease a touch lower. Hold for up to a minute, then switch legs. This muscle shouldn't be forced through pain. It needs to be coaxed, patiently, with regularity. It rewards consistency, so don't expect a miracle from one session. The piriformis sits deep, and the stretch reaches it gradually, session by session. But when it finally releases, the leg pain that's been called sciatica for years very often goes with it. Quick note before I forget, this point, and every other point in this video, is mapped out in a simple printable guide showing exactly where each one sits and where its pain travels. I'll tell you where to find it at the end. For now, let's stay on track. 3 more movements to go. Fourth, the quadratus lumborum. It runs along the side of your body from the lowest rib down to the pelvis, and it's one of the most common and most overlooked causes of lower back pain. Lie on your back, legs straight, and rest your palms on the sides of your hip bones. The same crests we located during the test, so you can feel them move without lifting your legs or shoulders off the floor. Begin a slow walking motion with your pelvis. Gently draw one side up toward the ribs while lengthening the opposite side down toward the heel. Then switch, slow, smooth, the pelvis rocking up and down. The point is the side that's lengthening at any given moment. That's literally where the name comes from. You'll feel the muscle along your lower back from rib to pelvis, gather and then stretch. Do 10 to 15 calm rocks. This movement also loosens up the lower back itself, so relief often kicks in while you're doing it. And remember this for later, imbalance. This muscle often gets overloaded by a difference in leg length, or by the habit of always sitting on one side, say with a wallet in your back pocket, or sitting for long stretches with one leg tucked underneath you. Remove that constant lopsidedness, and the muscle eases up noticeably, and the relief from this exercise holds longer. Exercise 5, lower back, lying down. Now let's gently unwind the lower back itself. Lie on your back, bend your knees, cross one leg over the other, and slowly let both knees fall to one side, toward the floor. You can turn your head the other way. Try to keep your shoulders flat on the floor. If one starts to lift, don't take the knees all the way down, stop where the shoulder still rests. If it's uncomfortable under the knees, slip a pillow beside you for them to land on. You might hear a light crack during this one. Don't worry, it's not a vertebra slipping back into place, and nothing's breaking. When a muscle stops squeezing a joint, the joint simply gets its freedom of movement back, and a tiny gas bubble releases, the same thing that happens when you stretch in the morning. Exercise 6, the paraspinal muscles, lying down. Last in our set, the long extensor muscles running the full length of the spine from the lower back all the way up. We've worked our way up from the bottom, and now we've arrived. This is the gentlest, most pleasant move in the set. It's the one we save for dessert. Lie on your back. Slowly draw both knees toward your chest and wrap your arms around your shins or behind your knees, whichever feels easier. Bring your head forward toward your knees, letting your whole back round, all the way up to the area between your shoulder blades. The back rounds gently, and the muscles running alongside the spine finally let go. If it feels good, rock back and forth a little, like a boat. A light massage for the back. Breathe calmly, and just stay there for half a minute to a minute. There shouldn't be any real pain in this one at all. It's purely a relaxation move. If pulling both legs in at once is too much, do them one at a time, then add the second. And if your neck tightens when you bring your head toward your knees, leave your head down on the floor. Let your back do the work, not your neck. One small tip. This movement pairs well with your exhale. Breathe in through your nose, and on a long exhale through your mouth, draw the knees a touch closer to your chest. The breath itself helps the back let go. 3 or 4 calm breaths like that, and your back warms up and releases. A few words to close. If you recognized yourself back at the start of the test, leave a like. It helps this video reach other people who've spent years treating the wrong problem. And subscribe so you don't lose the channel. There's more coming on other areas of the back and neck. Work calmly, work regularly, and may your back thank you for it. I truly hope this video helped. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.